So it's a proud honor of mine to introduce my good friend Eric Michaud, mc.fly, aestetix, and actually I totally don't know your name. Huh? Equinox, okay. Eric has been talking about this darknet and not telling me anything about it for months. So I'm super excited to hear all this. Guys, give them a huge round of applause. Introducing the darknet, Eric Michaud and crew. Thank you.
Okay. So I had a lot of notes. I had 300 index cards. I'm very nervous because I did not expect these many people to care about darknets. And so I've pretty much decided not to use the cards and just give them to the audience. And okay, so quick show of hands. I want to see everyone's hand right now in the air. Little exercise, because it's been a long day so far. No, everyone's hand. Everyone's hand. All right, other hand? I know you're not robots now. Thank you. Put them down. I have some questions later for that. Anyway, so all right. So I've been keeping quiet with this with mc.fly since HAR. This originally started as a well, actually, it started as many things. In the U.S., we have hackerspaces in the last 18 months exploding everywhere. They've been very established in Europe, and they're growing in Asia and South America and Africa now. Yeah, Africa. And a lot of us realized that we weren't able to get together very well on the internet. We were able to, use outside resources, but nothing that we could call our own. So just before DEF CON of this year, Cowtown Computer Congress, Pumping Station 1, which I'm a member of, and Hack DC, the DC hackerspace, started something called the War Zone. And that grew into a perpetual CTF between us. But it was just a little small thing. And then at HAR, this tall German man came up to me and said, "You are Eric Michaud." I'm like, "Yes." And I'm sitting by a campfire. And he said, "You are doing this War Zone." He said, "Yes, I'm doing Chaos VPN. We'd like to bridge." So I said, "Okay, let's go with that." So anyway, let's see what we're going to talk about. This is the short overview that I'm covering. Who are we? We'll go over in a second. And all the other stuff. So anyway, my name's Eric Michaud. I'm co-founder of Tool US Division, co-founder of Hack DC, founder and president of PS1, the Chicago hackerspace, and some of you might know a few of these things called hackerspaces.org. And then over here we have aestetix. Do you have a mic, sir?
Hey, does this work?
We're such technophiles.
Test? Yes. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm aestetix. I've been doing a lot of work with NoiseBridge, a hackerspace in San Francisco. But even farther back than that, I did a lot of work at The Last Hope. We did this RFID stuff, mixed it with the social network insight, and that gave all of us a lot of insight into security and privacy and a lot of social networking issues. And some of those ideas have planted the seeds for the things that we're going to be discussing today and led to some of the inspiration for at least my involvement with this.
Yeah, and then we have mc.fly.
I'm mc.fly. I'm currently in Hamburg. I was working over the Chaos VPN as I thought it is a brilliant idea, but only fairly used. And I made up my mind and got some people together to get it working again and to scale it out to connect all the hackerspaces in, well, wherever they have internet. That's mainly the basic requirement.
And then Equinox.
Hi. Well, we actually are the people that have tried to do this since quite some long time ago, actually 2002. But we didn't really have the power to push everything. So basically, I've been invited to tell you about the stuff that we have been running but have not been able to push. So yeah, thank you.
No problem. So that's a little bit of who we are. I mean, I know it doesn't look like we have what we call darknet experience or building large networks, but you might be surprised. So anyway, remember that exercise I did earlier about the hand raising up and down? I'm going to ask a few questions. So how many people here are still in university? See, you lied. People raise their hands here. Okay. Who is out of university? Okay. Who's at a hackerspace right now? Or is building one? All right, I would like to see more hands next year. Who does chemistry? Hobby, professional, or otherwise? I've talked to some people here. I've been surprised that I've seen some. But any? No? I see a hand over there. Physicists? Ooh, interesting here. It's a security conference, I thought. Okay. Fabricators, people who like to do soldering, working with wood, building things, anything. Building a house, I don't care. Like playing with dolls, doesn't matter. All right, I see some hands here. Okay. Who does information security? Wow, I'm surprised, actually. Not as many, but that's good. Okay. Why am I asking about this? Why am I here? And the main point is, what are we really talking about? Because I love double fudge cookies. Some of you might not be aware of what these are, but they're really wonderful delights you can get in America. Maybe here, I don't know.
Are those special cookies?
Are we here about long walks in the rain? No hands? Okay. Raiding the Saturn next door with TV begons? I heard last year we had 27 banned, especially the open BSD guys. With those wonderful jackets. They're like, anyone, you're gone. All right, no. Networks. We're talking about networks. So, all of you here, you all do different things, but very often you work in the same place or same community, or your research works with each other, you're collaborative. The people who do physics, the people who do chemistry, the people who fabricate, the people who build networks, the people who use networks, they all need to talk with each other. In the last 24 months, with hackerspaces and academia and a lot of people in the world, they've been realizing that there's a lot of unused capacity and a lot of resources like hackerspaces, high-performance computing, a lot of systems that aren't just being shared. And right now, not just at university, at corporations, but at the low level, people have all this excess capacity. And this has been very interesting to us, and that's why we're talking about this. So the main thing is, what are we still talking about in this darknet? Why do you care? Why should you care about being here right now? I mean, seriously, again, who finds it hard to talk with friends in any of these communities? Sometimes on the network, you just want to share large files, virtual machines, do CTF stuff, anything. Anyone? No hands? Seriously, none of you like talking to each other. I bet all of you at one point were on IRC. Never. Okay. So none of you do basic research, find your connection to anywhere else, like using BitTorrent, HTTP, or other protocols being squeezed by your ISP or anything else? None of you. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, more hands. It's like popcorn. Come on, come on, seriously, none of you really care about where your data goes. It just gets there, right? It's magic. All right, sure. Well, anyway. All right. Wow, hard crowd. So anyway, all right, well, for the ones who don't want to play the home game, what we're talking about here is community. I mean, it's great to share all your wonderful things that you have, all your toys, all your code. You have Git, you have SVN, you have SourceForge, and Google Code and other resources. But you also might even have CNC machines and other devices, laser cutters, hardware, certain things that it's hard to mail. I mean, you can send data, but very often you just can't connect very easily. I mean, you do have Skype, but you don't know where your data's going very often. So those are the things to think about there. On top of that, I'm able to use this software called Keynote. Some of you like it, some of you don't. I'm able to work on this laptop and give this wonderful presentation. Well, I'd like to think it's wonderful. That's by your applause at the end. And then who uses what we're doing. But the thing is, all the things, when I said physicists, chemists, fabricators, everyone, all of the work you do applies to everybody else. I want you to think about that right now. Just because you do straight physics doesn't mean it applies to the information security person. Oh, but wait, quantum cryptography, that comes from the world of physics. So just keep that in mind when I talk about this and everyone comes up with their things. So anyway, to sum up, what I'm really going over is that we found, as we just talked about, many people in the world find that you have to do all these individual tools to get together to just sometimes share simple data. I mean, you can do Gmail and all these other resources, but again, it's like it's on their cloud servers. And you don't exactly know how it's working, but it's working wonderfully. It's not a problem, it's a great thing. But sometimes you just want to have the personal touch. Yeah, so the main things that we realized when building all these things together is that it's got to be easy, it's got to apply to everybody, and that you don't really have to think about it once it's up. So, I mean, like I'm talking about pure hyperbole right now, all these wonderful GUI bits that aren't really hard stuff. So I'm going to pass it off to a few people.